I did my research on hardness, or the hardness in water. And water hardness is essentially just a concentration of cations in the water, which include calcium, magnesium, iron, and manganese. And it's measured using chemical titration, and that's how you find out how hard the water is, I guess. And it's reported in parts per million. It has many benefits to the aquatic ecosystem and the fish around. It helps with bone formation in fish. It helps with their blood clotting and other reactions found throughout their body. They absorb it directly through the water or the food that they eat, and it helps reduce the loss of any other salts in their body. And a couple other cations that are very important are sodium, potassium, and are actually the most important to fish and biological life. It helps the fish with their heart health and their nerve health and just all their muscle function. Water hardness is used as a water quality indicator. It shows that there's been human activity around, if there's substances in there that should be greater or less. It shows that there's an acid mine drainage around, which would release a lot of iron. Or it shows that there's been limestone weathering, which would be calcium and carbonate. And water hardness.
Can I go back to that real quick?
Yes. Any
Sorry,
questions?
so is it not anything bad about it?
I think it can be bad in high amounts, but it's pretty much just the cations in water.
What do you mean by the quality of water?
Like, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
That's what I'm asking.
Like Michigan has the best kind of water because ours isn't hard or it's not soft. So we have nice water because we're right next to the lakes. I know that.
It's pretty much all these being in the water that help with the aquatic life.
By quality, do you mean like drinking quality or like looking wise, the quality?
Probably the quality of the fish.
Yeah, that's a question for Kyle. And Kyle.
I mean, if you think about it, it's pretty much,
Well, quality-
he explained it.
Yeah, but I mean quality can mean like different things.
Helps with their heart.
Well, I'm not entirely sure if it's like helpful for humans or what they need it for, but it's definitely helpful for fish and life in water.
It's like a preference for humans.
Yeah. So essentially we can't even like see the water. It's a plan.
What? What are you talking
It's like
Okay.
Yeah.
If the water is really hard.
So Kyle, what I'm looking for is specifics. You said it's measured in parts per million. So what I'm looking for then is parts per million of iron, calcium, magnesium that we're looking for. Obviously, when is all gone?
I was getting ready to go up there. And Colin just
Oh,
gets
well, let him go first. So Kyle, what we're looking for then is, obviously everything's good in, with pro-grade amounts. Do you have the parts per million of that? Alright, so then same as Adam, will you find that out for us?
And then just comment it
And
on the
comment
video.
on it, so that way when everybody else watches the video. But you have to be timely about it. So I'm gonna do my best to have it up during school tomorrow. I'll try and do it after school tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, so that way if other people are trying to do it, like if Adam's trying to do all this before he goes on vacation, yeah, like that's gonna happen. He can if he wants to.
Okay.
Adam, I'm just kidding. I know you're gonna have everything done before you go.
I will.
Ready, Colin?
I'm sorry to go retro on you guys. I mean.
No, we're ready, Colin, if you are. Let's do it.
Alright. The pollution I had was turbidity, and basically like a general explanation of what that is. It's the cloudiness or haziness of water, or of liquid, but in this case we're doing like water. It's basically just water clarity. And it's caused by suspended materials which include clay, silt, sand, algae, plankton, microbes, and other substances. It's basically anything that you find in water that can make it not transparent. The negative effect is if it's soil, it provides unsafe drinking water, especially for people that get their drinking water from like a natural spring or anything like that. Soil erosion, whether you're talking about a river or anything like that, because it there's more soil being brought up, and then it's going across the sides of the rivers. Eroding stream banks, and I don't know why, but on the website of the EPA is where I got my information. It produces excessive algae growth. I'm not sure why, but and then there's another one that's not on here. It's it helps. Okay, it attracts bottom feeders like carp, which is bad for water in the environment because it brings up all the sediment from the bottom, and then it increases the water temperature because when you have more soil and water, it absorbs the heat better, so then you get your increased temperature, which in certain rivers and streams could cause harm to the ecosystem. To test, you can use a turbidity meter. I didn't look up how expensive they are, or I'm not sure if we have one here already, or a different form of that. And then another cheaper test is the transparency test, which you need a transparency tube. But I'm not exactly sure how accurate that is, and like I don't know how would you do it. Use a transparency tube, but I guess you could just look up, like hold it into light, and then see how transparent it is, like just from the naked eye. I forgot what turbidity is actually, the units that it's actually measured in, but I know each state has a different like regulation for their drinking water. Like for instance, I know Michigan, our state regulation is a lower turbidity than like say Louisiana's. Because I saw a picture on the website. There was 3 jars full of water, and then the first one had 0 turbidity, the next one had 5, and then the next one had 500. 0 was just completely transparent, clear water, and then number 5 was actually, it was a state regulation of Louisiana, so it was like a little bit hazy, and then 500 you couldn't see through the water at all.
Wait, state regulation for what?
The turbidity
Drinking water?
in drinking water.
You said what, hazy? And that was what the...
No. In the 500.
You said 5 was a little hazy.
It was like a little bit.
I would not have to...
Well, it's Louisiana. I mean, what do you expect?
Louisiana, what do you
Why do you think Louisiana's
Yep.
gonna have a higher turbidity?
Probably because they have, I'm guessing that they have more silt, sand, and clay in their like streams where they get their water from, the drinking water.
Nicely said. Any questions?
Wait, yeah, isn't it like a test where it's like, did you see anything like this where it's like there's circles or whatever, and each one, like you put the water on top of it, and that's how you can tell
No, I
the
didn't see
turbidity
that.
level, where like if you can see the thing in this one or whatever, like each one gets
I think I
like less
yeah.
defined, you know, as you go along, and then you can tell.
Yeah, I
what
got
the
what
other
you're-
is.
That's one of those tests we're gonna use.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but like when I went on the EPA website, they had like step-by-step directions to use like the transparency tube, and then they said, the most effective way to do is using a turbidity meter.
Yeah, let's not get too bogged down in that stuff right now.
Okay, does it,
Because we're gonna do that after we get back from spring break. I'm gonna open up our field testing kit, and we're gonna go through and look at it. We've got colorimeters that we're gonna use on site. When we go to Coon Creek, we'll actually use them right at the riverside. So let's not get too bogged down in meters this and testing that, right now. Correct. Hey Colin, same idea. Will you give us the
The actual levels.
specifications for drinking water, for
Bathing water.
bathing water, exactly.
yeah,
And then-
like, does it matter if there's not any bacteria in there, if the water's clear,
it's, remember, it's not a measure of bacteria. It's usually a measure of some sort of organic material, like Colin was saying, silts, sand, clay.
That's what I'm saying, so like if there's no
No, that's great.
bacteria in the water, does it matter then? If it's just like you're drinking more sand in the water?
Well, no, you don't wanna drink any, really,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna kill you.
I mean, if you had zero turbidity, that'd be excellent.